74 million from La Bianca Company. Emotional, spectacular scenes as in team's Thanksgiving service. And I saw John Boydo yesterday dancing there in his resplendent white and blue bubu. Graphic Business Stanbic breakfast meeting is happening on Wednesday. The Republic Press is next. Northeast RCC gets administration block. Man electrocuted to death for attempting to steal ECG cables in Kumasi. 2 robbers jailed 20 and 10 years in hard labor. And NDC blows hot air over EC's no Ghana card, no vote directive. Also, President shakes up national security apparatus. He makes the deputy national security coordinator the boss there. Woman jailed 10 years for killing lover over grass cutter soup. Metro News, Metro Lens, ICOMS is up there. Gunshot that in Kapima Kropong over breach of noise-making ban. Atobra, as many, made NIB national security chiefs. Somebody says Dankwa Institute is at the helm of affairs of our security architecture. Mahama to attend Dr. Japon's father's funeral following official invitation. Bagbin, men restate commitment to intra-Africa trade at GAPTIS 2022. Also, Daily Statesman is next. 37.6 million euros water supply system commissioned, and government to protect pro-poor policies in IMF deal. MPP cautions against endorsement. President appoints new national security couples. Nana Atubra Kweku, NIB Director General, and also Edward Asumeni, National Security Coordinator. The Custodian newspaper. Government gives 37.6 million euros water project to Upper East region as it went there. And I heard the chief there thanking him for nominating daughter of the land as Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection after Joa Safo went away. Baumia extols chief imam's impact on education, will project all pro-poor policies. Akufo-Addo affirms. President opens 17.6 million Northeast Regional Office and Ghana to host Global Petroleum Confab. The Supreme newspaper is next. It says Kofi Aduma Onwani attacked by alleged assassins. GJ has condemned it as usual. Ghana's CCC plus rating not due to mismanagement of incompetence. That's Razak Opoku, who is the Director of Communications at the NLA, talks government issues more than NLA issues. Your footprints will remain indelible in Northeast. Nairi applauds President Akufo-Addo. Minerals Commission reports clears the DC Abuja Napa Commission not modernized Cardinal Namdini resettlement project. The Ghanaian Times says military police deployed to maintain peace. UG students run amok, set car blaze, take away past of Mensa Saba. President appoints Edward Asumeni as acting national security coordinator. Ghana leader in food security in Africa, U.S. ambassador to the UN, and Gold Coast refinery certified to participate in global jewelry industry. Daily Guide. Mystery over Mills's death lingers. NPA to host International Petroleum Confab. TMA upskills NSS personnel. U.S. envoy Pampers Nana. NDC threatens to fight EC over Ghana card. BNFT. Treasury building up cash buffers. Dead people still exist as shareholders in companies register. December in GH aims to trigger 1 million arrivals blueprint. That's Dr. Mohammed Awal there. He's been a former Minister for Business Development. Finally, the Finder newspaper, Dr. Baumia commissions Osman Nuhu Sharbutut Central Mosque and the school complex. Also, IGP urges churches to invest in security technology. Upper East gets 37.6 million euros water project. Ghana to host longest or largest international petroleum conference there. My guest this morning, lawyer Godwin Eduji Kujo Tamaklo. He's a member of the NDC's legal team, and also Dennis Miracle Sapuaji, former MCE for the Kwapim North municipality. He is also the presidential staffer in charge of advising the government on local governance issues. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Johnny.
Great. How's the weekend, Dennis?
It was okay. It's fine.
It was okay for you. All right. How's it?
Yeah.
Weekend. You're wearing white. What are you celebrating?
That's a very interesting question.
Very
In the face of our latest ranking.
His outlook contradicts his words. And so that he's processing it.
I said that's a very good one. But, the gift of life is enough for us to celebrate. And the privilege to be here and to speak to our countrymen and women, that we are always thankful for.
Let's begin. Dennis, we've been downgraded again. CCC plus. The more we tell the people that we're doing very well, each rating that comes up seems to downgrade us. What's going on? What's happening?
Johnny, let me say a very warm good morning to our viewers and to Lawyer. It's been a while since we met. I also want to congratulate the people of Boku area for finally having some solution to their potable water challenge that they've had over the years. Water to about 300,000, over 300,000 citizens is a big deal. And last night I was telling someone that if you ask what is that government has done with the money, this is one of them. 37.6 million euros. And I think yesterday or a day before, he was also on the Bolgatanga Boko Polymarchrome road as well. That's about $115 million. So I was even making the points yesterday that we need to begin to pick the list. And Johnny, I think maybe, I don't direct your production here, but just for the fact of education and information, maybe we should begin to pick some of these things and interrogate it properly. It would also help our viewers and our listeners. For example, there's this 2021 debt report that is in Parliament. It's online on the Finance Ministry's website, which has our total debt stock from 1957, if it's still in our books, up to now. And it cuts across all governments till date. And what is it that we borrowed for? I think it's time we pick this and begin to do an interrogation as to what it is that we borrowed, we've used it for.
That's your job as government communicator.
No, that's why I am telling you. See, anytime we don't have to argue about this.
That's
why I said I don't direct your production. It's up to you to choose to do that form of education for your viewers. It's up to you to choose to subtly or openly do that form of education for your viewers on us. That's your choice. But as government, if I also have an opportunity to come and sit here, and you invite me to spend my time,
that's what you're saying now.
Here, I would also take advantage of it. But I think that as media, we should begin to look at that if we are not doing it.
We should look at what?
To deliberately interrogate some of these facts and figures. The speculations are a lot, and the questions are too much, but the answers are there, and so if sometimes instead of putting out the vague questions and continuously ask the questions, if the answers are there, let's pick them and see
why is government not interested in trumpeting the answers and rather is expecting
government doesn't own media houses, one. Number two, government cannot do it alone. Number three, government has already put the answer out. That's why I said this is a public document. One is in Parliament, two is online. Okay, so government has put the answers out. Now once government puts it out, it is up to all of us stakeholders in the running of the state, media involved, traditional authorities, religious leaders, opposition. We need to interrogate. We don't have to argue about this.
Dr. Baumia has been speaking. He's never mentioned what you're saying.
He's mentioned. I've heard Dr. Baumia mention.
He gave us a chronology of it.
It's about, if you pick that list, it's close to about 460 or 70 lines.
Right.
Okay, so it's a lot. So it will be very difficult for even you.
He had 2 hours to speak. You MC that program.
But you
MC that program.
You cannot spend 2 hours to speak only on 461 items. He spoke on several sectors, including that. But when he gets to there, he cannot go into the details. I am talking about the line to line, which I think is something that you just need to look at.
So I'm saying, if the media, if Dr. Baumia, who organizes a seminar that you emceed, couldn't say it, how should the media go about it? How should the media go about it?
So for example, every morning every morning if you come here, instead of asking, what have you done with the borrowing? You go and pick 1 or 2 lines because it's 160. You cannot do all in one shoot.
I should do
I said,
every morning.
you can do that in 30 seconds too.
Every morning?
In 30 seconds, yes. So if you choose not to do that, it's fine. But I'm only saying that what do we have on the Bolgatanga Boko polychrome and what we have in the water that we've provided for the people of Boko is all part of that conversation. And I think that as state actors, which you as a media person is involved, if we begin to look at it in that way, it would help. And I am happy. I'm happy for the people of Boko. Now with the S&P, is it S&P?
Yeah, S&P
ratings.
Yeah.
I think nobody in this government has said that our economy is doing well. Nobody has done that. If you follow the president's State of the Nation's address, if you follow Dr. Baumia's address that you said IMC and all of that, you'd realize that everybody in government consistently has admitted that our economy has some fundamental challenges. We've admitted that the debt to GDP is quite high. We've done a lot of borrowing as against our expenditure and as against the revenues that we are getting in, and the challenge keeps going up. And so we need to find strategies to reorganize ourselves and restructure. And that is why government went on the tandem of encouraging us to begin to look at how we can increase our domestic revenue mobilization to be able to take care of ourselves and reduce the borrowings. Don't forget, we've also consistently raised the issues of the external global challenges, economic challenges, which we cannot run away from. For example, from October last year to now, one of the things that have really affected us is the price of the crude and petroleum prices actually on the global market. I mean, as at October 2021, I think it was around $97 or so dollars, and then between now to somewhere last month, it was around 136. Okay, so obviously it puts pressure on our currency, which we need to convert a lot to be able to import these products. And again, once we bring them down, because it's expensive already, it also increases the cost of our petroleum prices. And you know, in Ghana, once our petroleum prices begin to go up, it affects everything, you know, in the value chain.
Taxes there.
The taxes alone are not the reason. In fact, the taxes do not even form 30% of the reasons why
they don't.
No, they don't.
They don't form our 40%.
They don't.
Global prices, exchange rates.
So these two things, global prices, exchange rates, for me, I think are the
It means that the city is weak.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we've never run away from that. Fundamentally, we are importing so much, exporting less of value-added products. So we are actually always looking for a lot of dollars. Our industries are still now coming up. We've not, over the years, looked within to be able to even manufacture and produce the basic things that we need, so that we don't have to constantly look for the dollar. Because so long as we are chasing the dollar to import coffee, finished coffee and chocolate, it means that all the time you have cedis and less dollar, and so the dollar price.
But the dollar was arrested. Keys given to the IGP appeared to.
Of course.
Or
I mean,
did the IGP, when he was leaving, silently open the door?
Was it a lie at that time that the city was doing well? Was it a lie?
The dollar broke jail?
Was it a lie? I mean, let's take it one by one. At that point, was it a lie?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so at that point, it wasn't. At that point, the city was doing very, very well until these global challenges.
So what, the dollar broke jail?
No, the global economic challenges set in, and for which reason our city.
How long has Ukraine and Russia been fighting?
At least close to about a year, because it started somewhere, I think, mid last year. Don't forget, before them there was COVID, where global value chain also was supply value chain was also affected. You see, our challenges, if you look at the economic figures, it's clear, it's obvious. Unless you just want to be mischievous, you'd realize that it is obvious that our challenges started somewhere first quarter 2020. Look at all the figures, look at all the indicators. Between 2017 and 2019, somewhere 2020 March, we're doing very well as an economy until COVID set in, until Asia, China began to shut down, until the cost of freight went skyrocketing. Don't forget, I said we import so much. And so once the cost of freight has gone up, once those we buy from are shutting down, they are cutting production, it means that the cost of buying these things in the country will go up. You need to get more dollars to be able to buy even less than what you used to buy. And then when it gets into the country, it even gets more expensive because it's costing you more before it comes in. And that is the fact.
But you promised taxation to production.
It takes time. We are doing it. 125 running companies.
And what has been the impact?
It takes time.
On the economy?
At least yesterday, today, the shoes that I wore are from shoe fabric in Ekropon. So it's reduced. It's some $10, $20 that I would have spent or somebody would have spent to import some. At least we have coffee in Ghana, silly coffee. I've even used that before.
Right.
It reduced the importation of coffee. It takes time. It will take a while, you
So
know.
when you
But
give
if
me
we
things, come and
continue,
announce it on TV. You give me things, you come and announce on TV.
But I need to confirm. If I don't say that, you may even deny it. So I need to put it out there so that they know that you have experienced it before. So it takes
It was
a
just
while.
a small box. Add
Yes,
it.
but at least it's coffee that
add it.
coffee that was grown in Ekuapem
Add it.
and processed in
Add
Ekuapem.
it.
You know,
Small
when
box.
you go to the Akomadan area, they are producing tomato paste. Okay, that is a certain percentage of our previous importation of tomatoes gone down. Today, I see Ekofi juice all over the place. Anytime I'm driving, I see their trucks parked doing street sales. That is some fruit juice gone down. You know, so these things take time. I think that if we continue on the tandem that we are doing, we would be able to get there. Because these fundamentals, when you are building them, then you should be ready to experience some of these
Is our
temporal
economy on the right
challenges.
track? Because if Moody's, Fitch, now S&P, everybody, Bloomberg, they keep downgrading us, it gives a certain indication that our economy is not on the right track. Perhaps that's why we have run back to the IMF.
I mean, we haven't run away from that. We've had major challenges. You know, initially when the COVID set in, we tried to absorb the shocks. Okay, we tried to absorb the shocks, and that's why you realize that even when some countries were running into negatives in terms of economic growth, we managed to stay in the positives, albeit very, very, very small. But for how long can you do that if you have fundamental challenges with the economic structures? It will be very difficult, and that is what we experience.
But that is what you promised to fix.
Yeah, but
moving away from the Gorgesbergen economy.
Are we sure? But
to,
I keep saying
the president said it.
I keep saying that if you want to look at what we promise and what we are delivering, then look at what it is that we've put in place, and as to whether you believe, you know, technically and without any mischief, that these things, if we continue in the long term, will fix the challenge. I think so.
But there's no mischief, because if the people you say you have done the thing for say they don't see what you have done for them, there's no mischief.
Why? The people of Boko have seen the water, so they won't say that.
It's in Navrongo, actually.
No, yes, so they won't say that. Okay, the people of the voter, okay, Honorable Dafeme Post area,
Right.
they are seeing the roads, so they won't say that.
So what would the people of La, the general hospital, what would they say?
So it takes time. Okay, so if you go to Kum in Ebri, okay, they have their hospital, so they won't say, but the people of La will complain because their hospital is down.
Yeah,
Okay,
and since 2019, you broke it down, you have not built it.
Exactly, so that's
and
why
you told them that the project is running.
perfecto. So that's why I keep telling you that it is a process. So you look at the indicators and see whether are they doing something. It is better to look at whether are they doing something than they are doing nothing at all. If they are doing something, if the people of La who have seen that their hospital is down, okay, realizes that, oh, there are things in place that shows that this government delivers on hospitals. Okay, because this weekend we inherited 37 hospitals uncompleted from them. We've done close to about 20. The others are ongoing.
The Gang of Six, for example.
We've done it.
You've completed
The
them.
Aerojet projects.
Right?
Yes.
You've completed them.
Yes.
So why are they not operating?
You see, when you complete such hospitals, they take time.
They take time
to get operationalized. For example,
How?
I'll explain to you.
Explain.
When you install, like University of Ghana Medical Center, I think I was there yesterday also, you realize that they are phasing out the opening of the hospital.
But the minister told us that there was no transformer there. He lied. We found out later that he lied.
You like to throw in things.
I'm not throwing things.
Let me-
Because you're
The
making
minister is
reference
not
to-
here. Let me respond.
Well, he
to
said it. He
I
lied.
didn't hear him. So let me respond to what. So these hospitals have been completed. Others they are doing test run of the machines. Others, they are even training the doctors and the nurses on the usage of the equipment in the hospital. I have a tour list.
All machines are those that they are training people.
Oh yes, I mean
these same doctors who are
these
working.
these 10 key hospitals. When you sit down, have you been to the University of Ghana hospital? I bet you that if you take the nurse or the doctor in my village to the University of Ghana, he can't run the hospital. He can't operate there. The gadgets there, okay, the equipment there, even the scan there, they look different. They need to train them on these things, okay.
And they'll take how long?
I don't know, but it takes a while. At least we've completed. This hospital that we are talking about started in 2009. For 8 years, a certain government didn't do it. It took the descendants of the Kufuor government to come and complete. We've done it. And so it's there to show. The point I am making is that this government is committed to fixing the fundamentals of the economy. We are doing it. We are showing results for it. And in doing that, we are not being arrogant.
After 6 years, you are now fixing the fundamentals of the economy?
Within that 6 years period, we did so much to reduce all the indicators to positive time until...
And then COVID came and disturbed everything.
Exactly, which told all of us. And if you remember very well and you listen to the president in all his address, he will tell you that COVID has exposed us. COVID had shown us that we are not even there yet in terms of the fundamentals of the economy. And so we need to double up and fasten the process. Industry-wise, look at what we are doing within the automobile industry. It takes a while. It takes a while for a whole plant, assembly plant of an automobile company to be set up. It takes a while for a factory that would process maybe pineapple into fruit juice to be set up. It takes a while for a sugar processing company to be set up. It takes a while for industries that has the capacity to produce to meet our local demand and reduce our import in all of these basic goods to take effect. The question is, are we doing it? Are we showing the performance in that area? Yes, we are doing it. We are showing that we are working at it. Okay. And eventually, if we continue, my position on this is that if we continue to work at the rate that we are doing, we'll be able to get to the point where if in the future we encounter another pandemic or another war somewhere, the impact on us will not be as much as
my final question is this. I remember I sat in front of the president on the 20th of December 2019, and he said that going forward, all refreshment used, state funds backing it, will be, for example, with local rice. I don't see that commitment, and rice is one of our biggest imports into this country. Rice, sugar, and the oils. So president makes a directive, a policy decision, but then the implementation is a problem. Don't you think that if we, for example, had worked at cutting down our rice imports, eating local rice, right from the Jubilee House or the Flagstaff House?
Have you gone to see the lunch at the Jubilee House?
The last time the president was...
have you gone to...
The last time the last time the president danced with Nana Kodedo Ajima Rollins...
You saw the packaging on the
last week when the president danced with Nana Kodedo Ajima Rollins... Can I finish my question?
Oh, yesterday.
No, last week, Thursday, when Nana Kodedo Ajima Rollins danced with the president, they didn't eat local rice.
You saw the label.
I went there.
What did you eat? When you were eating, you were counting.
I didn't eat something. I shouldn't ask my question.
Where you were eating?
The rice is from Salugu, don't worry.
No, I do. When you eating, did you see the label?
Do you eat local rice at the presidency?
Yes, we do. Even this one, I ate local rice.
My jollof was eaten already?
Yes, I jollof early morning.
But if you want to defend this kind of incompetence, you have to eat,
So let me ask you, when you were eating at the Father's Day, you went to check the label. Did you go to ask the
I didn't eat some of the food.
So how then did you do?
I don't eat state money.
So how did you?
I'm asking you, I don't eat state money.
So the food there also it went.
I know. I don't.
So when you go for the meet the press, you don't drink the water.
No.
Oh, nice.
I take my water away.
You are doing very well.
Thank you.
God
bless you.
They are watching you.
It's okay. Let them watch me. Eduji. Then it says, if we continue on a certain trajectory, we will be fine. COVID and the other factors have put us in this situation. But yet again, we've been downgraded. CCC plus. We are in school, but the more we learn, the more we fail. What do you say?
So once again, good morning to your viewers. Before I start, by way of preliminary comments, I want to use your platform to appeal to government to reconsider the issue with electricity within the Krobo enclave, Somanya and its environ. The matter is beginning to take a national security, position, and I'll plead with the various stakeholders to call for a meeting ASAP to have an amicable solution to the electricity challenge within the Krobo enclave. I don't think they deserve what is going on. Whatever the problem is, I think that we need to find solution to it.
Right.
You see, Johnny, again, I need to set this record straight. If you recall, around 2015, 2016, the Mahama administration awarded a contract for the Boku Bolga Boku Pomakun Road. In fact, the contract was awarded to the very contractor that constructed the Kaswa and then the Circle interchange. Then with funding. Yes, with funding. In fact, part of the funding was supposed to be the money government of Ghana syndicated with road fund from one of the local banks. Now, if you recall, when the NPP came to power in the year 2017, they asked the contractor to halt the project and that they were going to do an audit.
That's right.
Because they suspected that there were issues, you know, with the procurement process.
Were there issues indeed?
Absolutely none. It's been 5 years or 6 years since that audit was done. They found no wrongdoing. So you notice that they then gave the project in lots. They gave portion to Mauns and others. In fact, the last time I was on that road, I went as far as to Garu. So I have an appreciation of the road. Now, what you notice is that it is the deliberate decision by government to halt that project for almost 3 years. That is what has created the delay. If not, that project would have been completed a long time ago. In fact, I recall a similar thing happening. If you look from Hohoi to Jasikai, that contract was given to Rolida because then Rolida was doing the road from Fume Babe. So when they finished, they got the contract from Jasikai to Hohoi. Then government again came and said, look, they had problem with that being under cocoa rules, among other things, and stopped the project in the name of audit. And that audit took almost another 3 years before they came on to complete. Again, if you recall, from Peki to Asikuma, there were some Chinese contractors doing it. Then from Have going to Golukwati, it was given to Fiscal. Again, the government came and said they had problem with cocoa roads. You recall the famous cocoa roads investigation and audit. It was all part.
Who said the report is ready?
It was all part.
The report is ready.
So it was all part of it. They did the audit, found no wrongdoing, and then now started. So if you see Roxanne Dafiamapo's Facebook post, it is basically to allude to the fact that there was no need. Because remember that once you halt a road project and you start again, the costs. But you see, this morning we are having to deal with the critical question of how the incompetence of the Akufo-Addo administration had brought Ghana to the worst rating ever since 1992.
COVID.
You see, why are we where we are?
COVID is part
Nothing.
of the reasons.
You see,
Russia, Ukraine is part of the
anytime this conversation comes in, our brothers who have no appreciation of taking responsibility for their recklessness always rush to Russia, Ukraine. You see, the Russian ambassador, if you recall not too long ago, they did a tweet, a Facebook post, trying to put out there the items, you know, from Russia to Ghana. And they demonstrated that if you even look at how much items that we import from Russia or even Ukraine, it's so limited. So the whole idea of always blaming Russia, Ukraine for the problems or the economic challenges of Ghana, the embassy were just trying to let us know that no, we can't be blamed for it too. It's the issue of COVID. Anytime, conveniently, our brothers in the NPP will say, COVID, COVID, COVID. But what they have failed to tell the good people of Ghana is that by reason of COVID, we had to go for the stabilization fund, almost $250 million. That alone gave this government 1.2 billion Ghana cedis.
Lives have to be saved.
So if a crisis brings you benefit, you don't talk about the crisis only, you talk about the benefit. That notwithstanding, under COVID, they had another $2 billion from the IMF and the World Bank. They had another 430 million from the World Bank. In fact, that's alone, they had almost 80 million Ghana cedis from dollars from Korea, the Korean government, from the German government. So in all, if you look at the volume of financial resources that came to this administration by reason of COVID, is over 33 billion Ghana cedis.
And they used it for business support, for PPEs,
you see,
for
it is part. It is listen. You see, it is part of the COVID business support that the MPP, Northern Regional Vice Chairperson, then Mrs. Felicia Tete, came out to say that MPP parliamentary candidates in the last 2020 election were given, and in her particular case, she had over 100,000 Ghana cedis. And other constituency and regional executives were given. So let's do a simple permutation. 275 constituency. Each parliamentary candidate getting about 100,000 Ghana cedis from our COVID money. How much is that? This government claims, right, that under COVID, they gave 500 million Ghana cedis to buy PPEs, Veronica buckets, hand sanitizers, face mask for the reopening of secondary school. Now, guess what happened? They never gave any headmaster of these schools money for the procurement. They centralized the procurement here in Accra. Now, go and find out the companies that they gave this contract to. The pervasive corruption. In fact, it was barefaced stealing
but
of
the
public
PPEs
funds.
were distributed regardless.
No, I am saying that if you are buying 500 million Ghana cedi worth of hand
Should be
sanitizer,
decentralized.
can you imagine? And these things were centralized in Accra, procured and distributed to headmasters. But that's even on the other side. You see, when you entrust the destiny, okay, of a country into the hands of braggarts, incompetent people with a media-hyped narrative that they have an understanding of how the economy works, what you're going to have is the situation we have today. Look.
What are you saying?
What I'm simply saying is that, and like you said, the ahumasocracy, you know, the bureaucracy, the arrogance with which our friends in the MPP within the past 5 years have managed this economy, that is what has brought us where we are today. I have listened to the vice president, and the vice president makes the point that, look, there are 4 line items. In fact, he calls it the 4 whammy or something, quadruple or something whammy.
Quadruple whammy.
Yes. He mentioned Russia, Ukraine. He goes to COVID. 25 billion for banking sector cleanup. And then he mentions the last one being the take or pay payment. You see, if you want to expose this government, what you do is to place questions before Parliament. The Honorable Suhene, okay, asks this, the Minister of Finance, Ken Oforiatta, to come to Parliament and give a breakdown of how much government of Ghana had paid by way of excess capacity charges from 2017 till date. All this while, our friends in the MPP had put out a narrative that they were paying $1 billion every year for take-or-pay contract. Correct. Right. So when Suhene asked the question, the finance minister, because if you lie on the floor of Parliament, that would be perjury. So this time around, he has to tell the truth. Now he came to Parliament and said, so far, they have not paid $1 billion. They have only paid $937 million.
They were approximating.
No. They were saying that they were paying $1 billion annually. When the question was put to Parliament, he now comes and says that they have only paid $937 million. Now, guess who they paid the monies to? They paid Kapa. They paid Ameri. And then they paid Senpa. And then paid AXA. Now, all these companies that they have paid, they're actually generating power. So when somebody generates power and you pay the person, you are not paying for excess capacity charges. Now, Dr. Bawumia put the price at 17 billion Ghana cedis. 937 million Ghana cedis, dollars. Is it 17 billion? Now, when we interrogated the figures, now we realized that government of Ghana had paid GOR 300 million for fuel supply. How is that excess capacity payment?
But then the government argues, for example,
No.
We are generating power that we don't need.
It's not even true.
And that our power generation is too expensive.
Johnny, it's not even true. As I speak
the
to
neighboring
you,
countries cannot buy.
You know the Dawa industrial area. There's a company called B5.
Right.
B5 is producing less than 40% of its total capacity because we don't have power. So how in God's name can you then say that you have excess power in the system? Our friends decide that they are going to rule this government with fear. How in God's name do you say you have excess power? Meanwhile, B5 is in need of power in order to produce, even at 80%, they are doing less than 40%.
For real?
That's the reality. You can go there right now. We don't have power. Look, because of the water system, they are not producing at full capacity. So, look, our friends have just decided that they'll rule this country with bare-faced lies. 2, you say you spent 25 billion Ghana cedis on banking sector cleanup.
And save depositors' funds.
You know what? When you came, the NDC government had done an asset quality review, right? And then we have also identified a problem. So in September, we went to Parliament and got the Banks Deposit Taking Institutions Act 930 passed to give the legal backing for whatever reform. Now, when you came, there was a blueprint. What did you do? You decided, and then the review showed that the problem within the banking sector was about 9 billion Ghana cedis. And that with 9 billion, the banks would have the capacity to proceed. What did you do? You decided to collapse banks with a problem of 9 billion and ended up spending 25 billion.
Now, who caused them? You?
No.
Your government?
No. Now, if there is a 9 billion problem, how do you spend 25 billion to solve a 9 billion problem?
How did the problem come? That's the argument they've been making.
No, but you see...
You watched for the problem to come.
That's not true. The issue of banks, and even today, banks have problems. Even today, the banks have problems. Structurally, we have always had the issue with defaults. And so if you look at the non-performing asset portfolio of our banks from God knows whatever, you will always see that there had always been a problem. But we were saying that, look, there's already a workable model. If you recall, the famous financial crisis that happened toward the year 2008, when Obama became president, right? You know this insurance company, American Insurance Group, AIG, they used to support Mind You. And many other companies.
Are you putting my you here?
Ford Motors, General Motors, all of them had issues. The government of the United States of America could have collapsed those companies and said, look, you have created a problem, you've created a mess. No. The Obama administration rolled out a bailout, took part of the ownership of these companies, and saved jobs. What did the reckless Akufo-Addo administration do? It was a decision by a few people. Ken Ofori-Atta, the governor, President Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, these 4 people took a decision to collapse Ghanaian banks. And I've always asked this question. Heritage Bank, was it having any problem? No. But out of wickedness, sheer wickedness, wickedness of man towards a fellow man, they decided to collapse Heritage Bank.
But are we not looking,
just to punish State Agoko?
Are we not looking at the depositors' funds that were saved?
No. I am saying
that's the crux of the
matter.
matter.
But I'm raising a simple question to you. Right. Heritage Bank had deposited complaint? No depositor of Heritage Bank ever complained. It was pure politics. The decision to destroy Seydou Agongo's bank, nothing more, nothing else. So I am saying that when you create such a problem, it lies foul in your mouth to now come out and say that, oh, this is the crisis that has brought that. But what is clear, Johnny?
Finally.
Johnny, is that, look, the things fall apart economy. This things fall apart economy that Bawumia is bequeathing, okay, as the chair of the economic mismanagement team, is simple. The decision not to hear anybody but themselves. The decision to basically to punish people for their politics is what has brought all of us here. But what is critical, Johnny, and just give me 2 minutes so that I'll round up.
You have one.
No, just 2 minutes.
I beg you have one.
Just 2 minutes.
You have
Okay,
one.
let me just proceed. You see, our finance minister, when he came, he had a bank, data bank, you know.
Right.
Good. So, when he became finance minister, he started a program, borrowing program.
But he moved away from Data Banco.
No,
It's on record.
no,
That he moved
no.
away from Data
Under
Banco.
the Companies Act, he still remains the beneficial owner of those shares. He's the beneficial owner. So whatever profit they make, they go back to him. So when he leaves power, he will go back for it. And as I speak to you, he had borrowed from the bond market alone $13 billion. In 8 years, the Mills Mahama Emisata administration did 3.7 billion in Eurobonds. In the space of 5 years, Ken Oforiatta alone with Baumia, they have borrowed $11 billion from Eurobond. Aside that, they have taken another $2.25 billion. You remember the Franklin Templeton bond, but this time around it came in CD proceeds. So
But
we don't.
Trash cleared it, right?
No, please.
Trash cleared the
No,
finance
please, they didn't. I beg you.
didn't?
I represented Broja Jemfi in that particular Trash thing, and I know a lot of
It
things that
wasn't
happened.
cleared.
Eventually, it was a high court that set the report aside. Ken Oforiatta appealed
Right,
the report.
right.
So I beg you. I know what happened.
2 minutes, I should give you.
What is key is that the borrowing had resulted in commission payment to the finance minister. And the report shows that commissions alone accruing to the company owned by our finance minister
How much?
is in the region of 158 million Ghana cedis. Yes.
From what we borrow.
Yes, the commission payment, anytime we borrow. So this is a finance minister who had put his personal gain ahead of that. But you know what is even more shocking? His deputy, Charles Edubuahe,
He's a minister of state.
no, at that time he was deputy
right,
and
right,
promoted
that's
to
right,
now
that's
Minister
right,
of State.
right.
When he also became deputy minister, he had a company in South Africa called Blaster. They quickly incorporated one in Ghana. Quickly, the company that he used to run in South Africa, he quickly incorporated one in Ghana. Now, check something. The company in South Africa is 95% shareholder of what he incorporated in Ghana. Then his brother Christopher is 5% shareholder. So the family owns 100%. Do you know how much they have also made so far?
No.
On our bond, as bond specialists.
No.
Almost 88 million Ghana cedis. So you see, the problem that you and I are going through are becoming beneficial financially to the Akufo-Addo family. And that is what has brought us here. And I want anybody to challenge me on these figures because they are matters that you can easily
These things you
interrogate.
are saying are very serious. That,
Very.
That the finance minister is
150
engineering borrowing so
Yes.
he can benefit.
Any borrowing that we have done, Eurobond, he's paid commission. And he's the beneficial owner of those shares. Not in doubt. His other, the co-finance minister, that's Charles Edubuahe. The same thing. I won't sit here and peddle any falsehood about anybody.
In this matter, who are the lawyers who advise?
That one, I'll leave it here.
But you're a lawyer. You don't want to go after the lawyers.
I will leave
You
it
go
here.
after the finance people.
Because they are the public officers. As for the lawyers, they may just be doing their work.
But they're also
I'm-
getting money. From
No, but I'm saying that they are lawyers. The people that have been vetted, holding public office, and have decided to use their public office for this gain, they are the subject matter of the conversation.
We'll take. Thank you very much. This is the Big Issues segment on TV3 Newday. Send us your thoughts and messages. We'll share them with the rest of the wonderful world. And thanks to Niche Chocolate for sponsoring this segment. Now, remember that we will tell you what government needs to do to prevent another sovereign rating downgrade and also expect fuel prices of goods to go up further. We'll tell you why that is, and we'll tell you the latest on the Vodafone Telecel saga. All of details coming up at 7 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. on 3 Business. So you keep up with us and we'll get on to the conversation. Godwin Eduji Tamaklo is my guest on the ticket of the NPP, and Dennis Miracles Aboaji, former MCE for Ekuapem North and also advisor of the government on local governance issues, say on the ticket of the NPP. Gentlemen, welcome back from the break. Dennis, I suppose you want to take a quick rebuttal of some of the things that Duji said. Maybe I give you 2 minutes, and then we will talk about the Ghana card issues quickly.
I think for me, it's not even about an issue of rebuttal. It's an issue of correcting this sensationalism around Data Bank. Johnny, listen, Data Bank, they started operating in the 90s. There was no MPP. In fact, Data Bank started making money under Rawlings way before MPP came to power. Data Bank has been dealing with an NDC, all the NDC governments to date. They've done even more business with the NDC. I mean, in 2014, when the NDC went to borrow about $1 billion in the Eurobond market, it was Data Bank that did a transaction for them. Was it an MPP government? It was Data Bank. So that time, the finance minister who was sitting somewhere doing his business was engineering the $1 billion that the NDC borrowed. Sometimes some of these things, we don't have to close our eyes and say things that, you know, doesn't help anybody. And then you are saying it simply because today you are in opposition and the person that you used to do business with. If there's anybody that made Data Bank, it is the NDC. The NDC are the ones who made Data Bank. Because when Data Bank came to Ghana, when Ken and Togui Afede and Kelly came from America to Ghana, it was the NDC who made them. The NDC are the ones who gave them all the businesses. And they were doing the same transaction advices because they were competent, and they are competent. So the fact that Data Bank did business with you in the 90s, in the 2012s, 2014s, and their founder, who is no longer with the business, okay?
But he's raising some legal issues.
Which legal issue? Which legal issue?
He's a beneficiary.
Ibrahim Mahama, wasn't he the brother to the president? Was he not doing business with government? I am not one of the people who think that Ibrahim Mahama shouldn't have done business under Mahama. He's a private person. He's connected.
But is it true what he says that Data Bank gets, Ken gets a certain
Ken doesn't get anything. Ken is not part of Data Bank.
But Data Bank gets the percentages.
But Data Bank works with the government the same way they've been working with the government in 1993, 94, 98, 2000, 2014.
And Eduba Hinto gets?
I don't know about Eduba. I'm talking about Data Bank.
Okay,
but the point I am making,
is
it a business? Is it a legitimate business? Are they competent? Are they running competent, legitimate business with the government? If so, then I'm sure they are supposed to be paid some fees. The point here is that, and the correction I am making for everybody to hear is Data Bank. They are a making of the NDC. They have been dealing with the NDC years before.
Them.
They created them. The NDC made Data Bank what they are today. And Data Bank is one of the most competent financial transaction houses you can find in this country. And so if you're going to borrow, for example, and you have Data Bank, even your borrowers, is that the word? Borrowers
your lenders.
Yeah, your lenders are confident because they know that this is a credible institution. Because the profile they have, you built it.
But is this supposed to be just one company getting all the...
Why was it one company why was the NDC giving it to them? Because they know they are competent. They have been giving it to them in the 90s, 92,
So you're only continuing what they started?
We are dealing with a competent Ghanaian institution, the same way the NDC dealt with it.
Okay.
And so all this mischief and all these things, again on the Heritage Bank issue, you know it's an issue of litigation.
Right.
The Bank of Ghana has already clarified why Heritage Bank's license was revoked. I think it's out there. I have to get the detail. But the point they make is that the shareholding of that business was fictitious. And that at some point, even the declaration of the capitalization of the bank, they couldn't trace it. So more or less, the bank was created on paper and they had no money to back it.
That's not true.
Oh, I am just telling you. Okay. You can go and you are the lawyer.
No, I'm saying
you can go and litigate
it's not
it.
Even part of their release.
No, it's here. I can read it to you. It's here. No, it's here. The Bank of Ghana has said that. You see, so if the Bank of Ghana has already raised this concept, I mean, they even mentioned the issue of Sedu. What was the name? Adongo,
right.
Bringing some money that he claims was from a contract with Cocoa Board.
Right.
And later they realized that even the contract didn't exist.
No.
Please, you know when you
Go ahead.
And I am only.
You are reading.
Yes.
The Bank of
Ghana. Mr. Adongo claimed that the sources of capital of the bank included proceeds of 19.25 million contract with Cocoa Board. Bank of Ghana's subsequent investigations have shown that there was no such contract between Cocoa Board and Mr. Adongo. One or more contracts executed, however, existed between Cocoa Board and Saragao Limited. Documents submitted to the Bank of Ghana for licenses whether the bank made no mention of the contract between Cocoa Board and Sarago. Okay, nor the fact that Sarago, is also a shareholder of the bank, was owned by Mr. Adongo. from its 2017 audited financial statement, an amount of 15.8 million was transferred to the bank from an unnamed investor, which was attributed to the unpaid called up share capital, calling into question whether the minimum capital of the bank has been fully paid up at the time of licensing or not. So these were technical capitalization issues.
But not that they couldn't meet the 400 million capital requirement.
That's also part. That's also part.
They couldn't meet it.
That's also part. Yes, that's also part.
Bank of Ghana.
That is also part. Yes, that's also part of the reasons. If we have time later, you can do a Johnny's Bite on it if you want.
No,
but no, that's your discretion.
I
said if you want.
You don't.
I added that one.
Don't dictate.
Good. You let's proceed.
Thank you.
So I think it's important that Eduji puts the issues in problem. Again, I have heard the NDC banded this Russia. Right, and then Russia said that the amount of
but they've been tweeting.
Wait, the amount of things we import from them is not.
Also, right?
You see, sometimes people don't pick the issues into or they deliberately. Eduji knows it because Eduji, smart guy. Eduji, men that call Lego no. Or say you're conscious so.
Yeah, he did a
yes, sharp guy. Yes, sharp guy. No, we are mates. But deliberately, he will leave at the issues. Listen, if you look at that list, Russia published. Russia is there, Vietnam is there, Brazil is there, America is there, Turkey is there. Ghana does not import only from Russia, per the list. Now, if you read Brazilian economic, they'll tell you that their agriculture is affected because they are unable to get the nitrates and the other things that they need from Russia.
But we're looking at the variables.
No, wait.
How much?
Let me show you agri-economics, which they are not doing it. So because of that, even their production is affected, and the cost of production is also affected.
Right.
The United States, where we import some of our things from, per the list, are claiming that the cost of production in the agri sector is going up.
But bottom line, how much do you import from Russia?
Wait.
We should give you the impetus to say that is affected.
No,
that's what the Russians are saying.
No, please, you're not listening.
But that's what the Russians are saying.
No, that is not what the economic value chain that we talk about.
But the people you say are responsible for your problems are saying, don't blame us, stop blaming us.
Let me teach you if you want
no,
let me speak.
You so are not teaching me.
So
I'm
let
saying
me
that
teach you.
The Russians.
Oh, you let Eduji and I teach you the thing.
Hold on. The Russians. Hold on. The Russians. You can't come and teach me economics here.
I can't. We are journalists.
Are you the only one?
Economics.
You know economics. Please.
But
let me teach you the global economics.
The journalists don't know economics.
No, you know economics. Are you not the one who said you know economics?
I'm saying that because I deal with the masses. Now,
market.
you say you say that Russia is part of your wars.
Russia-Ukraine war.
Yes. The Russians have tweeted for the second or third time and backed it with documents that don't blame us. You are the cause of your own problem.
Let me tell you.
And that's what the government has not responded to.
Let me tell you how Russia-Ukraine war affects Ghana. That is what we have said.
Don't blame us.
Listen. Russia and Ukraine war, this is how it affects us. Okay. We import some things from Russia and Ukraine.
Right.
And we import some things from America, Vietnam, Brazil, Turkey, and others.
Right.
Those people rely on Russia and Ukraine to be able to boost their production.
No debate about that.
Listen, before they are able to also supply us.
No debate.
Now, because there is Russia-Ukraine war, the supply to us directly in terms of what we buy from Russia is affected.
Right.
Now, the supply of these fertilizers and other things to Brazil, Turkey, Vietnam, America, and also are affected. For which reason, our import from Russia is very expensive. Our import from Vietnam, US, Turkey, Brazil is also expensive and even not flowing because they are also affected by the Russian war. This is simple value chain supply.
What is your response to the Russian government? You say don't blame us.
So Russia governments are saying that, listen, you buy X percent of things from us.
Right.
You buy 7% from here.
Yeah.
We have never said that it is only the things that we buy from Russia. That is, we said the Russia-Ukraine war. And the Russia-Ukraine war has an effect on all our partners.
So the Russians have no case?
They have no case, but I'll just explain to you.
Okay.
Russia supplies fertilizer to Brazil, Vietnam, Turkey, US.
I know.
If you read from the US media, they will tell you that their agriculture is affected because of the challenges they are having in getting fertilizer from Russia. So, what it means is that if we are having challenges with our supply from Russia, even though they are saying the yes is small, the big one that we are also importing from Brazil is also affected because Brazil is also being affected by Russia. This is even without economics, simple logic.
That's right.
Good.
So
we are done.
So the Russians should not be saying what they are saying.
I don't even know why they are even stressing themselves making that point. Because are they denying the fact that the people on that list rely on them?
So the fault is from Russia.
the Russian-Ukraine war.
Okay, I hear you.
Which is fact.
Okay, so how long have they been fighting?
They've been fighting. In fact, they started the Cold War somewhere August last year.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go. We are moving our troops. We'll come and attack you and all those things.
And then and all that time the economy was being affected.
But that was when it was. Why you?
Oh no, but
I'm done. That is
allow him to finish. Allow him to finish. Allow him to finish.
No,
2 minutes.
Then it's finished. Then it's finished.
You let me make my point. When I finish, you can say whatever I want to say. But let me make my point. So this morning, let's settle that matter once and for all. The point here is that Russia supplied a list.
That's your camera. Speak to the Russian ambassador.
Russia ambassador. You are fighting Ukraine. We rely on you for certain things, certain goods. We rely on Ukraine for certain goods. So many other countries also rely on you for their fertilizers, their nitrates, and so all those things that go into fertilizer production. These countries also, we buy some of the things we buy from you, from them. America, Vietnam, Turkey, Brazil. Because of your war, the supply that you give us is being affected.
Okay.
And then because of the war, the fertilizer that you provide to some of our other partners that we buy from is also affected. For which reason, even though we are buying X percentage from you, we buy more from Vietnam. And because they are being affected by a war, they are also not being able to produce as much as we want and also give us at the price that we want. And that is why we are being affected. So please, stop tweeting and making it look as if we are saying that we are buying all our things from you.
Johnny.
So much for Ghana beyond aid, isn't it?
Johnny, just 2 minutes.
We are the
Johnny,
we are not
I think on the issue of data.
Why?
Johnny, on the issue of data bank, I think my brother got certain things wrong.
What did he get wrong?
One, the issue of data banks operation under the NDC. Remember that we are dealing with the issues of conflict of interest. Conflicts. Look, if NDC, for instance, uses data bank, fair deal, fair opportunity, equal opportunity, correct. But here, the decision maker is using his own companies to advise him. And he, the same person, determines how much commission he pays without competition.
You're a lawyer, you know it.
But you see, what is even more
so the difference is that maybe Setekpe would have used data bank, but he had no interest in data bank.
No interest.
But here, Ken Oforiatta has an interest in data bank.
He's a beneficial owner of the company. And another
so he's the referee
and the player.
And the player. Okay.
What is even more shocking, Johnny, is the fact of the volume. You see, commissions are dependent on volume. The more, bonds, the more the commission. So you notice that in the 8 years of NDC rule, the overall bonds that were taken was $3.7 billion. Just in 5 years, Ken Oforiatta has done 11 billion. And you know why?
And so you assume.
Dollars.
And so you assume.
No, but that is the desire.
How?
The desire, the unbridled desire for both. What is the lawyering about this? But this is a fact. Which part of it are you disputing? But you see, Johnny, what is even more crucial is that if you look at the S&P report, it talks about our debt sustainability, our ability to pay our debts. And that is what has taken us into a junk state now. Do you know that per the S&P rating, we are only one step to the very bottom, which is D, because we are now at CCC. From CCC, you go to
and
D.
how many steps to?
We have come down about 4 steps.
And 1 step to do what?
Nothing. 1 step. So now we are only 1 step to hell.
And 1 step up to do what? And 1 more step up to do what?
Please, you see, miracle. We are in a very tight situation. We are in a quagmire. What is required, and that is what I have recommended.
How are you supporting the government to get out of this quagmire?
Do you know that in 2021, when Mr. Akufo-Addo, through the budget, said because of COVID, he needed a bipartisan help to come out of COVID, almost all the raft of taxes that he brought to Parliament, COVID recovery, all those monies, we supported those budgets. We did. To show a certain patriotism. That is what the NDC administration, until they decided to now come and harvest our savings by way of e-levy, then we resisted. And the good people of Ghana demonstrated their resistance to e-levy. Because if you look at the projected revenue, it was supposed to be 6 billion Ghana cedis.
6.9 billion.
Correct. As we are speaking, they have not even been able to raise almost 100 million from e-levies. What does it tell you? What does it tell you? It simply tells you that you need to listen. Arrogance is not enough.
Okay.
I wish we will have the opportunity to talk about the issue of Ghana card. That the Electoral Commission had decided that hook whatever
the law
says
bring.
Decided. Nowhere in our law. Nowhere in our law. And you see, ask Miracle. The two of us, he's from Equiapem. Right. I'm from somewhere in the northern part of Volta, now Oti. Look at our people in those areas. They struggle to get Ghana card, even in Equiapem. They struggle to get Ghana card. And now if you are restricted, and he knows in Akan, he knows there's something we call the Osiahenes, the people who, the kingmakers. Right. You don't impede them. In Ghana, the kingmakers are the voters. Why is the Electoral Commission deliberately trying to limit the number of persons?
Thank you. Let me read the messages quickly, and then we will get to. Okay, so pull out the messages quickly. Let's see the messages and read them out there. Well, the government is not helping the people of Upper East Region at all. No good road networks, and all the roads in Bogatanga are pending. That's the first messages. There's no water project at Boku. Don't sit in Accra and tell lies. Get in touch with the people before you speak. Oh, I said this in Navrongo. Dennis said this in Boku, but that's Robert Nyaba. Thank you very much indeed. Good morning, Johnny. Ask Dennis what the price of a barrel of crude was during the COVID period. The country has equally enjoyed more profits from the sale of our crude oil as prices soar on the international market. Abdul Majid Tamale is asking about the windfall. Johnny, I'm in Boku and don't get what miracles Abuaji is talking about. Is he saying Nanado has provided the people of Boku with water? He should get his facts right because that's a lie. Now, about the Bolga Boku Pumakam Road, he should be reminded that the project was ongoing before Nanado became president of Ghana. Nanado actually delayed the road project. Johnny, in fact, Dennis is just more than too good. He makes communication very simple. I would not be surprised if the MPP endorses him as our next commissions director. I wish him well from Bipua Mohammed in NTC. And that's a good one for you, Dennis. Good morning, TV3. Johnny, there is no tomato processing factories in Akumadan. Dennis, fact checking. Good morning, TV3. Please help tell GSS that the Okaikwe North Municipal Assembly supervisors and enumerators are still waiting for their mop-up payment for the 2021 population and housing census. Stella, you have not paid the people, you are using the data. Professor Nim, good morning to you. Good morning, Johnny. Kindly ask Miracles what happened when he recently told us on your network that fuel prices would be reduced. He sat in the same chair. On that day...
Don't even bring yourself.
Wait. Can I read the message? Good morning, Johnny. Kindly ask Miracles what happened when he recently told us on your network that fuel prices will be reduced on that day and asked us to clap for the government, only for fuel prices to be increased that same day. Chris Achimont. In fact, that same day when you sat here and told us the fuel prices will go down, it went up.
Ask your editors.
It went up. Anyway, fuel prices to go down, it went up. This government has invested, but it's gone down slightly. This government has invested a lot towards our industrialization drive. At least about 125 1D1F are on operation as we speak today. First of its kind, especially under this Fourth Republic. What has been the impact, I always ask. Johnny, tell Miracles that the water project commissioned is not in Boku area, but rather Navrongo Enclave. It's okay, don't shout. What happened to the promise of moving from taxation to production? The MPP government only pays lip service. Okay, taxation to production. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Grateful. Thank you to Grand Park Clothing, Dansoman 020-985-5696. That's 020-985-5696. It's part of the homegrown policies. And make sure that you're drinking Niche chocolate, munching on Niche chocolates the nuggets as well. It's healthy for you. Yes.
Beg government to look for the electricity problem within the Krobo area.
Okay. Honorable Minister for Honorable Minister for Energy, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, Napo senior brother. Good morning to you. Andrew Ejapa Mesa. Good morning to you, Bobo. The people in Krobo are looking up to you. Please, let's try and fix it before it gets out of hand. Good morning.